In the early 13th century, a people scattered across the cold grasslands of Mongolia built an empire so vast that it stretched from the Pacific Ocean to the edge of Europe. Their riders crossed deserts, mountain passes, frozen rivers, and open plains faster than news of their arrival. Their armies shattered kingdoms that had seemed untouchable. Yet the Mongol Empire was not only a story of conquest, it was also a story of trade, technology, religious exchange, and a world suddenly connected from China to the Mediterranean. This is the entire story of the Mongol Empire. Before the empire, the Mongols were one of many nomadic peoples living on the steppe north of China. Their world was shaped by wind, grass, horses, and survival. Families moved with their herds, living in portable felt tents called gurs. Loyalty belonged first to a clan, then to a chieftain. Alliances shifted quickly, and old feuds could last for generations. There was no Mongol nation. There were only rival tribes competing for pasture, animals, and power. In this harsh world, every child learned to ride early. A warrior could guide a horse with his knees, draw a bow at full gallop, and survive for days with little more than dried meat and fermented mare's milk. These skills would one day help turn a small population of herders into the most feared mobile army in the world. Around 1162, a boy named Temüjin was born into one of these clans. His early life was anything but secure. After his father was killed, Temüjin's family was abandoned by its allies and forced to survive alone. In time, he built friendships, defeated rivals, and gathered followers not only through family ties, but through loyalty and ability. That was a revolutionary idea on the steppe. Temüjin promoted capable men regardless of their birth. He rewarded loyalty, divided captured wealth among his followers, and broke the power of old aristocratic families. Step by step, tribe by tribe, he defeated the Tatars, the Kurit, the Naiman, and other rivals. By 1206, the chiefs of the steppe recognized him as Genghis Khan, usually known in the West as Genghis Khan, the universal ruler of the Mongols. Genghis Khan did not win by charging blindly across the steppe. He created a disciplined military system. Mongol units were organized in tens, hundreds, thousands, and 10,000s. Commanders were chosen for skill. Scouts rode ahead, spies gathered intelligence, and messengers carried orders across enormous distances. The Mongol bow was compact but powerful, perfect for use on horseback. A Mongol rider often carried several bows, arrows for different ranges, a lasso, a saber, and equipment for survival. Each warrior traveled with spare horses, allowing the army to cover astonishing distances without exhausting its mounts. Their tactics were just as effective. Mongol armies could pretend to retreat, drawing an enemy into a trap. They surrounded armies from multiple directions, used smoke and signals to coordinate movement, and adapted quickly to new weapons. When they faced walled cities, they recruited engineers from conquered lands and learned how to build siege engines of their own. The first major target was not Europe or Persia, it was China. To the south of Mongolia stood powerful states with rich cities, farmland, and walls. Genghis attacked the Tangut kingdom of Xisha, then turned against the Jin dynasty in northern China. Mongol armies learned the hard lesson that horses and arrows were not enough against fortified cities. They adapted, borrowed siege methods, and returned stronger. By 1215, the Mongols had captured Zhengdu, the Jin capital of modern Beijing. The steppe army had proven it could defeat not only nomadic rivals, but wealthy, organized states. And Genghis Khan was only beginning. West of the Mongol world lay the Khwarezmian Empire, which controlled much of Central Asia and Persia. At first, Genghis Khan sought trade. He sent a caravan westward. But after merchants were killed and diplomatic envoys were humiliated, he answered with an invasion. In 1212, Mongol armies crossed into Central Asia. The campaign became a turning point. Cities such as Bukhara and Samarkand fell after hard fighting. The Khwarezmian ruler, Muhammad II, fled westward as Mongol columns raced across the landscape. The conquest showed the terrifying range of Mongol mobility and the danger of divided resistance. It also transformed the empire. The Mongols gained access to skilled administrators, craftsmen, engineers, and new routes of trade. Their empire now reached deep into the Islamic world. In 1227, during a campaign against Xixia, Genghis Khan died. The exact circumstances remain uncertain. His burial place is still unknown. But his legacy was clear. the tribes of Mongolia had become the center of a vast military empire. Before his death, Genghis had chosen his third son, Ogedei, as his successor. That decision gave the empire a moment of continuity and opened the door to even greater expansion. Ogedei Khan became Great Khan in 1229. Under his rule, Mongol expansion accelerated. In the east, the Jin dynasty was destroyed in 1234. In the west, Mongol armies crossed the Eurasian steppe into the lands of the Rus principalities. City after city fell. In 1240, Kiev was captured. Then Mongol forces pushed farther into Central Europe. At Legnica in Poland and Mohi in Hungary, European armies were defeated. To many observers, it seemed that the horsemen from the east might ride all the way to the Atlantic. But in 1241, Ogedei died. Senior Mongol leaders were required to take part in choosing a new Great Khan. The Western campaign lost its momentum, and the armies turned back. Europe had survived, not because the Mongols had been defeated in the field, but because politics at the center of the empire demanded their return. After years of succession struggles, Mongol Khan became Great Khan in 1251. He launched new campaigns in several directions. His brother Hulegu moved into the Middle East, while another brother Kublai focused on China. In 1258, Hulegu's army captured Baghdad, ending the Abbasid Caliphate's political power in the city. Across the empire, Mongol princes ruled vast regions with increasing independence. Then Mongol died in 1259. Kublai emerged victorious from the civil war that followed, but unity would never be the same. Kublai moved his center of power to China. In 1271, he founded the Yuan dynasty. 8 years later, he completed the conquest of the southern Song, becoming the first non-Chinese ruler to control all of China.
By the later 13th century, the empire was effectively divided into 4 great khanates. In China and Mongolia stood the Yuan dynasty of Kublai Khan. In Central Asia stood the Chagatai Khanate. In Persia and Iraq stood the Il Khanate. Across the western steppe and much of the Rus lands stood the Golden Horde. They were connected by family, custom, diplomacy, and trade, but they were also rivals. Each khanate had its own priorities, its own allies, and its own conflicts. The dream of one united Mongol command was fading. Still, for a time, the Mongol world created what historians often call the Pax Mongolica, a period in which large stretches of Eurasia were linked by safer roads, official messengers, and growing commercial networks. The Mongol Empire did not invent the Silk Road, but it helped connect and protect a vast section of it. Merchants could travel from East Asia toward the Middle East and Europe with passports, escorts, and access to relay stations. Precious goods moved across the continent: silk, porcelain, spices, metalwork, horses, and paper. Ideas traveled too. Astronomers, doctors, craftsmen, diplomats, translators, and religious figures crossed cultural boundaries that had once been far more difficult to cross. Mongol rulers often used specialists from many traditions. Persian administrators worked in China. Chinese engineers served in Western campaigns. European travelers, including Marco Polo, described the scale and wealth of Kublai Khan's court. This exchange had a darker side as well. Movement connected markets, but it could also carry disease. The trade routes that bound Eurasia together helped create the conditions for plague to travel across continents. Empires built through rapid conquest are difficult to hold together. The Mongol realms were separated by thousands of miles, languages, religions, and local political traditions. Once expansion slowed, arguments over succession and revenue became harder to contain. The 4 khanates fought each other. Regional rulers adopted local cultures and religions. In China, the Yuan dynasty faced financial problems, natural disasters, and growing rebellion. In the West, the Golden Horde weakened through internal conflict and pressure from rising neighboring powers. The Mongol Empire changed the world precisely because it was so connected, but those same vast distances made a single empire increasingly impossible to govern. In 1368, rebel forces overthrew the Yuan dynasty in China and founded the Ming dynasty. The Mongol court retreated north into the steppe. Elsewhere, the other khanates survived for different lengths of time, but none restored the unity of Genghis Khan's empire. The age of the united Mongol Empire was over, yet its successor states, trade networks, military traditions, and political transformations continued to shape Eurasia for centuries.
The Mongol Empire is remembered for swift campaigns, fearsome cavalry, and cities caught in the path of conquest. Those realities should not be minimized. Mongol warfare brought terrible destruction, and many communities suffered enormously. But this is not the whole story. The empire also remade the connections between East and West. It accelerated the movement of people, technologies, goods, and ideas across Eurasia. It elevated trade, relied on religious and cultural specialists, and proved that a state from the steppe could rule the great urban civilizations around it. Genghis Khan began with fractured tribes on the Mongolian grasslands. His descendants ruled lands from the Pacific to Europe. Their empire eventually split apart, but the routes they opened and the worlds they connected outlived it. And perhaps that is the real lesson of the Mongol Empire. It was not simply a wave of conquest moving across a map. It was a force that rearranged the map itself and changed the history of the world. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe for more entire histories, legendary wars, and the people who shaped our world.